Dr. Paula Muller. She is the CEO or administrator of Excel Community Services, where we provide a variety of affordable daily living and informed care services essential for emotional well-being and encouraging independence for the elderly, disabled, and veterans. She is also the owner of I Am Paula Muller. She specializes in child abuse recovery and stress management, helping individuals to be proactive and focus on solutions that minimize challenges and provide stability to one's life, which can diffuse situations before they can become a problem. Thank you so much, Paula. So you can occupy your stage.
Thank you, and good morning or good afternoon. I guess it really just depends on where you're at. But first of all, let me thank Dr. Tina Lewis for allowing me to be a part of such a great vision that she had. I thank you solely from the bottom of my heart, and also thank Wynn for allowing me to be a part of such a great, magnificent platform that they have here. It is such an honor to be in presence with other professional, like-minded men and women. Because today, as you can recall, there's so much that is going on. You have people and all around the country, all around the world with different things that are just happening in their lives and happening around them in their communities. So this is such a great honor and privilege to be a part of a platform that has great professional speakers, authors, coaches, and mentors. So again, I thank you. As Ms. Melinda stated, I am Dr. Paula Miller, the owner and founder of Excel Community Services, where we work with the elderly, disabled, and also our veterans that we love so dearly. Also, I am the CEO and founder of I Am Paula Miller, where I specialize in child abuse recovery, which is CAR, and also stress management. So today we will be speaking on stress management. So I hate that I'm not there with you live, but of course I'm here in the virtual world coming to you from Houston, Texas. So we will go ahead and get started. So these are some things that I want you to take in mind and just visualize as I speak on them. Did you know that approximately 120,000 people die each year from work-related stress? Think about that. Did you even know about the 500 million that have mood and anxiety disorder? Did you even know about that? Just think about this. Did you even know that we spend 190 billion each and every year in the healthcare industry to treat stress-related work issues? Did you even know about the 60% that admit to having constant stress daily? And even the 20% that have stress-related issues and never report it. Did you even know about that? And even there's 73% that have some type of physical or mental health issues related to stress. Did you know about any of that? What category are you in? There are several that I named that pertain to myself. So what about you? Think about it. We specialize in child abuse recovery and stress management, helping individuals to be proactive and focusing on solutions which can minimize challenges before they become a problem, bringing stability in individuals' lives. Everyone wants stability in their life. Everyone wants to live a stress-free life or either minimize stress as much as possible. And that's what we do. What are your stresses and triggers? Just think about it for a moment. What are your stresses and triggers? Is it the job? So what type of jobs out there actually bring stress into our lives? Well, there are several, but I'm just going to name a few that comes to mind. Being a taxi driver. Can you just imagine being a taxi driver, driving around every day with a drunk, obnoxious, rude person in the backseat yelling at you? Can you imagine that? Don't you think that would be stressful? Even a surgeon, yes, surgeons make great money. Don't get me wrong, they make great money. But keep in mind, surgeons also have our lives in their hand when they're performing procedures. Do you think that they're not stressed? That is a very stressful situation because one wrong move can, right there, be a fatal accident. One wrong move when they are operating. What about social workers? Have you ever thought about a social worker? Just think about it. When they're knocking on someone's door, they never know what their day is going to be like. They never know what's on the other side of their door. They never know what they're going to face when they get up that morning, they prepare their schedule. Just think about it. Or even our kids. We're soccer moms, swim moms, baseball moms, cheerleader moms, wives. We are everyone's mom. Think about it. It's stressful. Even finances, especially in today's society with the pandemic going on. We're robbing Peter to pay Paul, trying to make sure that all ends are being met to keep our household running. Just think about it. And even other people's problems. Everyone wants to come to you for their problems. You're their problem solver. But remember, people, no is a sentence all by itself. So learn to say no. Giving presentations such as this one here, being nervous, even just having irate customers returning packages and items back to the store. You thought about it? They purchase something that's broken or even too small, and when they bring it back to the store, they're upset with you, stressing you out like it was your fault. That can trigger your stress and also trigger you. So just think about those things. Stress can be defined as any type of change of physical, emotional, psychological strain to our body. Stress is usually things that we cannot contain, things that we cannot control, things that are beyond circumstances that we cannot handle. Again, a loss of a job is considered stress. Sickness, a broken car, those are things that can actually bring stress about on your life that you cannot control. So when things like this typically happen, our blood pressure rises, our heart rate begins to pump faster, we have mental alerts. Just think about it. We become so unfocused. Our attention span tends to decrease, and we're uncertain about anything that is going on around us. So just think about those things. So now I want to talk to you about some known facts about stress. Just listen. Just listen. What do you hear? Nothing. Why? Because stress is known as a silent killer. Silent. As it can cause heart disease, high blood pressure, chest pain, and even irregular heartbeats. But it's silent. Stress also accounts for 30% of infertility problems in women. Stress can cause spasm, fallopian tubes, and uterus, which can cause issues to the unborn child that they are carrying. Have you ever thought about any of that when you are stressed? In children, chronic stress can be found to negatively impact their development growth due to a reduction of growth hormones in the pituitary, which is also known as a small ovary that is attached to their brain. Stress is also responsible for altering our blood sugar. You know, when our blood sugar rises, we're looking for something sweet, something to snack on. So it alters our blood sugar. And it leads to fatigue, mood swings, and everything that we can possibly think of. So that silent killer, I want you to hold on to that. Just think about that. But keep that in the back of your mind because we will be coming back to that silent killer. So also, what are some signs of stress? Difficult sleeping, stomach pain, irritable, headaches, difficult concentrating, even sweaty hands and feet, heartburn. So much of this is stress. So when you see signs like this, you automatically know that stress is coming about on you. So remember, I said that we was coming back to talk about the silent killer. I met a lady last year. I think it was around August 2021 to be exact. She said to me, Dr. Paula, I just never thought anything like this would happen to me. I never thought it would happen to me. I eat right, I exercise, I do everything I'm supposed to do to make sure I keep myself healthy. So she said, I was sitting in my office one day working, usually working like I normally do, not thinking about anything, sitting at my computer. I'm in one part of the house working. My husband's in the other part of the house working. The house is separated. So, he's in the back and I'm in the front. So she said, I began to have sweaty hands. I began to develop a headache. And the next thing I know, my heart started pounding very rapidly. And I just didn't know what was going on. So I'm just looking, trying to understand where she's coming from. She said, I sat there for a moment thinking it was going to subside, but it didn't. It got worse instead. So with me sitting there thinking that it was going to go away and it didn't, she said, I picked up the phone and I called my husband. I'm thinking to myself, why are you calling your husband and y'all in the same house? You say he's in the back and you're in the front, just walk back there to him, me just thinking. But she stated, I didn't want to walk because I was afraid that if I got up, I might have fallen. And I didn't want to fall. So I called him on the phone. I said, okay, logical. I can understand that. So she said, baby, I'm going to take myself to the hospital because I'm just not feeling well. I don't know what's going on, but my heart is beating rapidly. My hands are getting sweaty. My head is hurting. And I just don't know what's going on with my body. So he said, well, baby, I'm going to drive you to the hospital. She said, no, I'm not going to allow you to do that because COVID is going on. And they're not going to allow you in the hospital. So I don't want you to have to sit in the parking lot and wait. So I'm going to drive myself. I think I can manage to drive myself. So she grabbed her keys, she grabbed her purse, and out the door she went. She actually drove herself to the hospital, she said. She got there. After getting there and registering at the registration booth, she said that they told her it was going to be a wait. And she said, wait, but I'm in pain now. I don't know how much longer I can wait. They say, we understand, but you're going to have to wait, ma'am. She looked around and she saw all the patients that were already there in the ER that were sick from COVID. She didn't want to catch what they had, so she said, okay. So she decided to go outside and just wait on the brick wall. And she told the security guard, look, this is my name. When they call me, could you please just come to the door and tell me that they're calling you? She said, because I just can't sit inside due to the fact I don't want to catch what they have. And I believe that they have COVID. So he said, okay, I can do that for you. So she sat outside, 30 minutes passed, an hour passed, hour and a half passed, then 2 hours finally hit. Just as she was about to get up from the brick wall and walk back inside, the security guard came to the door and said, they're calling you. So she said, oh, great. I can go in now. I can see what's going on. So she went in and they took her to the back. They did EKG. They did x-rays. They did everything that they needed to do. And when they brought her back out and took her into the room where they spoke to her, they said, ma'am, you've had a heart attack. And she looked around because she was just dumbfounded because she's like, what do you mean a heart attack? How could myself have a heart attack? I eat right. I exercise. What do you mean I've had a heart attack? You've had a silent heart attack. Again, she was just puzzled because she couldn't believe what she was actually told. With that being said, they said, we're going to have to keep you here. So she began to cry because she just didn't understand how could someone like herself have a heart attack. She called her husband and she said, well, baby, they say they're going to keep me because I've had a heart attack and I just don't believe this. So he immediately rushed to the hospital. They took her to the room that they were going to keep her in. And when her husband got there, they escorted him in. And they told her, yes, you've had a silent heart attack and we're going to keep you. And she said, okay. So they wheeled her up to her room where they kept her for several nights, running more tests and everything on her. Once they ran the last test on her, they said, well, we're going to have to put you on medication that you're going to have to be on for the rest of your life. At that moment, she said, the devil is a lie. I've never taken medication and I don't plan on starting to take medication now. So again, they sent her home with the medication after keeping her for a couple of days there. She went home. She made her checkups with the cardiologist. He said, it looked like there's a little progress, but we still have a long ways to go. When she walked out of the cardiologist's room, about 3 months later, she said to him again, the devil is a lie. I refuse to take medication for the rest of my life. When she went back for her 6-month checkup with the cardiologist, they couldn't believe what they had saw. That was a total 180-degree turnaround in her heart, in her body. She had overcame whatever the challenges were that she said that was helping her, or that was putting her in the situation that she was in, that gave her that silent heart attack. So the cardiologist asked her, he said, tell me, ma'am, what is it that you do? What is it that brought about the stress in your life? So she told him, she said, well, I'm a Department of Family and Protective Service investigator, CPS. I investigate children that have been abused and neglected in their homes. I remove kids that need to be removed when they have been abused and neglected. He said, that's what brought about your silent heart attack. You were stressed. She never thought about it because she continued to work day after day after day, late nights, early mornings, doing reports, making sure that all the I's were dotted and all the T's were crossed. She never thought once that she was stressed. Never. She never realized that the stress that she was bringing, that she was doing outside of her home, she was bringing it inside of her home that was affecting her health and also affecting her family. She never once thought about it because she just realized that it never occurred to her that it could happen to her. So, with that being said, I am that person that was stressed. I am the person that had the silent heart attack. I am the person that was working many hours on the clock, off the clock, trying to make sure that I was protecting the children that needed to be protected. And so I said that to say, we could be on our jobs each and every day and not realize how much stress that we are actually under. Every day. Every day. It doesn't matter if you're a CPS investigator, if you work for Shell, if you work for Enron. You are dealing with some type of stress in your life. Some type of stress. So, how do you alleviate that stress? How do you get that stress under control? What do you do? First of all, take back you. That's what you do. Take back you. And when you take back you, you're saying that you are worth the time and energy and the effort because you're taking back you. Yourself, your control. You're not allowing anyone to control you or to control your emotionals inside. So take a step back and just look. Look at the things that you can absolutely control. What is in your control? Sometimes people get anxiety when they're late for an appointment. Even Oprah Winfrey said that stress almost took her out. In 2013, she couldn't believe it herself, but she was so stressed out, it almost took her out. Even Kourtney Kardashian stated that stress is in her life. So just not us everyday workers, but you have celebrities that are dealing with stress as well. Just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean that you're not stress-free. Because the more money you have, the more stress you have in your life. So a lot of times we look at stress, we bring it upon ourselves. So look at this. You get to work, report due at 9:30. You have a meeting with your boss at 10, but you just arrived to work at 9 o'clock. So what's there? You brought about stress on yourself because you knew you had the report that was due at 9:30. You knew you had a meeting at 10, but you didn't get to work at 9. So now you're stressing trying to get all this done before your meeting at 10 o'clock when you knew you should have arrived at work maybe 8:30. Even having guests in your home, a lot of times that could be stressful for us. Eliminate the amount of people that you have in your home if you knew that a lot of people will make you stressful. Eliminate. Have 10 people instead of having 20 or 30. Again, things that are in our control, we need to work on. That's how you take back you. Learn to exercise. Eat healthy. Healthy diets. Also, minimize the use that we use when it comes to social media and also our computer screens. That can bring about stress right there itself. Because we're all day long on social media trying to do what somebody else is trying to see what is going on with someone else. That is time that we should be spending with our family. Things that we can control. Again, practice self-care. As it's always stated, if mama ain't right, ain't nobody right. Okay? Because we have to be right. We have to take care of ourselves before we can take care of anyone else. Because if you notice, when you get on a plane, when they first thing they tell you, put the mask on yourself before you put it on someone else. Because you have to be able to help yourself before you can help someone else. And that's what we have to do. Take care of ourselves. Take care of our inner sides. Take back our control. Take back our lives. Reduce the amount of caffeine that we take. When we get up in the morning, yes, we want coffee. Yes, we want the cappuccino. Yes, we want Starbucks. But we can eliminate some of that because we don't always need it. First of all, it's not even healthy for us. So, we can always eliminate some of that. So learn how to take back you. So I remember as a kid, I used to always ask my mom, just tell me it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, Mom. It's going to be okay. Just tell me it's going to be okay. And she would always tell me, baby, it's going to be okay. Don't worry. It's going to be okay. Even sometimes nothing was even wrong, but I just didn't understand. It was always something going on the inside. But I just needed her to confirm with me that it was going to be okay. So back then, it was anxiety. But of course, back then, at such a young age, I never knew what the word anxiety was. It wasn't even in my vocabulary at that age. Anxiety. Who would have known that I would have had anxiety at such a young age? So those are some of the things that we need to look at. Focus again on ourselves. On ourselves, not so much as others, but ourselves. So I'm asking you today, I'm asking you to commit to growth and say that you're worth the time, you're worth the energy, you're worth the effort, everything that it takes to bring improving the quality of your life. So a small investment, I do understand it's not always easy sometimes to invest in quality and invest in ourselves, but it definitely can outweigh the efforts. Definitely outweigh the efforts. So we must learn to invest in ourselves. So again, my name is Paula Miller. I specialize in child abuse recovery and stress management. So I ask that you please follow me on social media. And also, I'm having a free 3-day workshop coming up next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 17, 18, and 19. Please join my free 3-day workshop on stress management. I want to help you take back you. I want to help you be able to control yourself, control the stress that is going on in your life. I've listed the link there for you. Please jot down the link or take a picture of it. Please register on Eventbrite. I look to see you joining me next week on my free 3-day boot camp workshop. But you must register on Eventbrite. I thank you so much for your time. I thank you for allowing me to share with you, and I thank you for listening to my story. Again, I hope this never happens to anyone, but if it does, we want to make sure that we're in the proper place to make sure that it's not as hard or challenging for us as it could have been if we prepare for what is to come. Thank you so much, Wynn, and thank you, Dr. Tina Lewis, for this great opportunity. I love you all. Thank you.